Part 1. The Whisper of Steam in a Waking World. A rooster's crow slices through the pre-dawn hush, sharp and insistent, pulling the world from sleep. Beyond my window, a fog blankets the rolling hills, maybe the Appalachians, maybe the plains of the Midwest, softening the edges of trees that stand like sentinels in the gray. I picture an elderly monk, not far from here, perched on the steps of a quiet retreat center, his hands cradling a steaming mug. The vapor rises in fragile threads, weaving upward as if tracing a path from earth to sky, carrying the fond scent of tea leaves or roasted coffee beans. He sips, eyes half closed, the lines on his face a map of years spent listening, to the wind, to his breath, to the stillness beneath it all. This isn't just a morning routine, it's a doorway, a revelation I've stumbled toward through decades of hustle and doubt. Peace doesn't demand grand quests, it blooms in the smallest acts, like this one. A cup held close, a moment claimed. I see my father's hands in my mind, rough from years of work, pouring coffee into a chipped mug at our kitchen table. The lines on his face deepened with time, tracing stories of labor and love. And I'd catch him pausing, steam curling around his fingers, gazing out at the dawn, as if it held answers he couldn't voice. Back then, I didn't grasp the weight of those quiet mornings, how they anchored him when life grew heavy. Now, at 62, with my own hands stiffening and the silence of dropping an empty house settling in, I get it. For us older folks across the U.S., life can feel like a road narrowing. Retirement stretches ahead, joints creak, and the days blur. Yet in this monk's stillness, I hear the Dharma's gentle call, the Buddha's words ringing clear. Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth. And what if that wealth lies not in chasing what's gone, but in sitting with a mug as he does, letting it teach me to root myself right here. This ritual has older roots, carried by seekers who found tea and coffee, not just for waking up, but for waking to the present, to the fleeting beauty of now. Imagine a monk long ago, planting seeds not for harvest, but for mindfulness, brewing a cup to steady himself through long nights of meditation. The Buddha taught that all things pass, youth, seasons, even grief. And in America, we feel that truth in our bones. We've watched kids move away, friends slip into memory, our own strength soften. It's tempting to grip tighter, to the past, to plans. But the Dharma nudges us. Release. That monk didn't fight the breeze rustling the leaves. He sipped and let it be. Can I do that, I wonder, as I wake to mornings shadowed by stiffness, or evenings thick with questions about what's next? Think of those early American Buddhists, maybe in a rural sangha or a city meditation hall, brewing tea with care, their hands steady as they poured. They weren't just making a drink, they were crafting a practice, a way to curate each day with clarity and kindness. The leaves or beans carried the earth's heartbeat, sharp, warm, always with the patience of growth. That patience calls to me now, in a country where life once rushed me forward, like a river in flood. Retirement slowed the current, but it brought a restlessness, a whisper that my best days are behind me, that meanings slipped away. Yet the Buddha's voice cuts through. Care for your body as you would cherish a temple, for it is where the soul resides. My body, weary as it is, isn't a weight, it's a home, deserving of tenderness. A mug of tea or coffee becomes my quiet stand, a way to honor what still thrives within me. Coffee joins tea in this dance, its rich aroma a thread woven into mornings across America. I recall sitting with my wife years back, the coffee pot hissing as we shared a silence that needed no words, steam fogging the window pane. She's gone now, the chair empty, but that scent still stirs me. The journey I'm tracing began with a monk's simple act and stretches to my countertop. A path I'm called to walk, not as a young dreamer, but as a seeker in life's later stretch. Older adults like us, scattered from coast to coast, know the sting of loss, the pull of solitude, the soft ache for purpose. The Dharma meets us in that steam, promising that vitality isn't tied to age. It's kindled in presence. The monk sets his mug down, and I feel his invitation. Step with me into this sacred pause, where every sip holds wisdom, every breath a chance to renew. Part 2. The Alchemy of the Everyday. The monk's call lingers as I step back into my own morning, the fog beyond my window thinning to reveal a world in motion. Birds darting between branches, a distant car humming down the road. I fill a kettle. The waters gurgle a small song and set it to boil, my hands moving with a slowness I've only recently learned to embrace. A bag of tea or a scoop of coffee grounds waits on the counter, unremarkable in their simplicity. Yet I feel a shift, an echo of that steam-wreathed pause on the retreat steps. Here, in the quiet of my American kitchen, the Dharma doesn't demand a temple or a mountaintop. It meets me where I stand, whispering that the ordinary can become sacred. For those of us in life's later years, where days can blur into a haze of routine or weariness, this is a lifeline, Eline. A cup, a breath, a chance to turn the mundane into medicine. I think of my neighbor, Ed, a wiry mutt in his 70s, who'd shuffle over with a thermos of black coffee every Sunday, his voice gravelly as he'd recount tales of his factory days. He'd sit on my porch, sipping slow, and I'd marvel at how he seemed to draw strength from it. Not just the caffeine, but the act itself. A ritual that kept him tethered when his knees gave out, or his wife's memory began to fade. The Buddha said, "In the scene, there is only the scene. In the herd, only the herd." A nudge to strip away the clutter and meet the moment bare. Ed didn't know it, but he lived that truth. And now, as I pour hot water over tea leaves, I see it too. Life in America's sprawling suburbs or quiet towns can feel relentless. Bills stack up, bodies falter, the news drones on. But this cup offers a rebellion. Small, affordable, mine. The beauty lies in what I add next, a handful of gifts from the earth that turn this brew into something more. A slice of ginger, sharp and fiery, joins the mix, its scent rising like a wake-up call. A pinch of cinnamon follows, its warm sweetness curling through the steam. And I imagine countless kitchens before mine. Folks like us, older, wiser, stirring in these fragments of nature, not for fuss, but for life. The journey promises transformation with just 5 ingredients, though it hints at more. And I feel the truth of it as the liquid shifts hue. For older adults, vitality can seem a distant memory. Joints stiffen, energy wanes, the mirror reflects a stranger. But the Dharma teaches that change is constant, and so is renewal. Ginger stirs my blood, cinnamon steadies it, and suddenly, I'm not just sipping, I'm awakening. This isn't some lofty cure peddled on late-night TV promising youth in a pill. It's simpler, truther, a practice rooted in centuries of quiet wisdom. From retreat centers to family tables. I recall a Buddhist teacher I met years ago at a community hall. Her gray hair pulled back as she spoke of mindfulness over a chipped mug. "You don't need much," she'd said, her voice soft but firm. "What's in your hand can heal you if you let it." She was right. My mornings, once dragged down by fatigue or the ache of an empty bed, lift with this alchemy. The ginger clears a fog I didn't know was there. Maybe a lingering cough, maybe a heaviness is in my chest, while cinnamon whispers balance, easing the spikes and dips of a day. For us in the US, where health feels like a luxury we can't always afford, this is a quiet revolution. $1's worth of spices is a minute's care, and the body responds. Liver humming, immunity rising, steps lighter. But it's more than flesh and bone. The Buddha taught that the mind shapes our world. All that we are arises with our thoughts. And as I cradle this warm mug, I feel it shift mine. The steam brushes my face, and I'm not just an aging woman in a too-big house. I'm a seeker, present, a whistle. Older adults like us know the weight of years, regrets that creep in at dusk, fears of fading into irrelevance. But here's the Dharma's gift. You're not Yuni. This cup, spiced and steaming, is proof that small choices ripple outward, that vitality isn't lost to time, but reclaimed in attention. Ed's thermos, my kettle, the monk's clay mug. They weave a thread across lives, a reminder that health and harmony aren't destinations. They're paths we walk daily, one sip at a time. The kettle clicks off, and I settle into a chair, the mug's heat seeping into my palms. Outside, the hills roll on, steady and unhurried, and I feel a kinship with them. This ritual, born from earth and intention, bridges the chaos of now with the stillness of always. It's a promise for us, retirees, widows, grandfathers in America's heartland. That meaning doesn't retire when we do. The monk's pause invited me here, to a kitchen counter where tea or coffee becomes a teacher, urging me to stir in not just spicy spices, but hope. And as the first sip warms my throat, I know this is where the journey deepens, where the everyday turns sacred, where I step forward, unafraid. Part 3. The healing beyond the cup. The mug rests in my hands, its warmth a steady pulse against my skin, and I linger there, the kitchen still humming with the echo of boiling water. Outside, the day unfurls. Clouds drift lazy across a pale sky. A squirrel skitters along the fence, and I feel the spiced brew settle within me. A quiet current, stirring something deeper than I'd expected. It's not just the ginger's heat or the cinnamon's calm. It's a ripple that reaches past sore joints or a sluggish morning. The monk's ritual, now mine, whispers a truth I've longed to hear. Healing isn't just for the body, it's for the soul too. For those of us in America's later years, where time carves both wisdom and weariness, this is a revelation. A simple cup can touch the hidden corners, lighting up what we thought was dimmed. I think of my sister Joan, who'd sit with me on her porch swing years ago, a glass of tea in hand, her laugh bright even as cancer gnawed at her. She'd rub her temples, complaining of headaches that lingered like uninvited guests, and I'd watch her skin dull, her sleep fray. Back then, I didn't know how to help, just sat, helpless as she faded. Now, cradling this mug, I wish I'd known what I'm learning. That nature's gifts, turmeric's gold, holy basil's hush, could have eased her, not as a cure, but as a comfort. The Buddha taught, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. And I see it now. Joan's battle wasn't just physical. It was a storm in her spirit too. For older adults like us, the years pile up losses, health, loved ones, the ease of youth, and the weight can settle heavy. But this ritual offers a lift, a way to soothe what aches inside. It starts small, this deeper healing, like a seed cracking open in a dark soil. The journey promises that these ingredients, ginger, cinnamon, and more, don't stop at the surface. I sip again, and the turmeric I stirred in earlier glows faintly in the liquid, a golden thread weaving through my body. My digestion, once a tangle after heavy meals or restless nights, unwinds. The bloating that plagued me after holiday dinners fades. Sleep too comes easier, less tossing, less staring at the ceiling replaying old regrets. I remember a retreat I stumbled into once, somewhere in the woods of upstate New York, where a teacher with kind eyes spoke of the body as a river, always flowing, always clearing. Tend it, she said, and it carries you. For us in the U.S., where aging can feel like a slow drift from vitality, this is a lifeline, proof that renewal doesn't need a doctor's script or a fat wallet. just a spoonful of Earth's bounty and a willing heart. But it's the soul's shift that stops me cold. The steam brushes my face, and my skin, once a map of sunspots and sags, feels alive, as if reflecting a light I'd buried under years of worry. I catch my reflection in the window, and for a moment, I don't see just an older woman staring back. I see a seeker, glowing with something quiet, something earned. The Buddha said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." And that hits hard. Too often, we older folks in America let guilt or grief dim our worth. Maybe I didn't do enough for Joan. Maybe I've outlived my purpose. But this cup disagrees. Each sip is a small act of compassion, a reminder that I'm still here, still growing. Headaches that used to shadow my afternoons dissolve, and with them, a tension I didn't name, fear of fading, of being forgotten. This isn't magic, it's mindfulness made liquid, a practice as old as the Dharma itself. I picture those early American Buddhists, maybe a circle of graying friends in a community center, passing a pot of tea, knowing that what they held wasn't just warmth, but connection. Connection to the earth that grew the cloves, to the hands that ground the coffee, to themselves. For us, scattered across this vast country, that's a balm. Loneliness creeps in when the kids stop calling, when the neighborhood quiets. But this ritual stitches me back to the world. My breath slows, sinking with the steam's rise, and I feel it. Harmony. The kind the Buddha promised when he spoke of the body as a temple. Not a perfect one, not a young one, but a sacred space nonetheless, worthy of care. The mug cools slightly, but its lesson burns bright. I set it down, and the sky outside shifts, clouds parting, light spilling through. And I'm lighter too. Older adults like us know the tug of what's lost, the fear that vitality slipped away. But here's the Dharma's gift. It hasn't. This species brew, born from simplicity, reaches beyond the physical to mend what's frayed. Skin, sleep, spirit. It's a bridge from Joan's porch to my kitchen, from the monk's steps to my chair, urging me to see that healing is a journey, not a finish line. And as I rise, steps steadier than they were at dawn, I know this is more than a drink. It's a call to cherish myself, to weave peace into the fabric of my days, one sacred sip at a time. Part 4. The temple in the everyday. The last sip lingers on my tongue, earthy and spiced, as I set the mug on the counter. Its faint clink a soft note in the morning's quiet. Outside, the light shifts. A golden streak cuts through the clouds, brushing the leaves with a glow that feels alive, almost tender. I lean against the sink, flirting, gazing out, and feel the monk's presence ripple back to me. Not as a distant figure now, but as a companion in this moment. His ritual wasn't just about the tea. It was about the world it wove him into. The soil that cradled the roots, the hands that plucked the leaves, the ski that arched above it all. Here, in my American kitchen, that wisdom unfolds like a gift. The Dharma isn't locked in ancient texts or far-off retreats. It's right here, in the steam and the stillness, teaching me that harmony isn't something to chase. It's something to live. I think of my Uncle Ray, a farmer with hands rough as bark, who'd sit on his stoop at dusk with a thermos of coffee, watching the fields he'd tilled for decades. He'd talk about the land like it was family, how the rain fed it, how the sun coaxed it to grow. And I'd see a quiet pride in his eyes, even as his back bent with age. Ray's gone now, but his coffee mug still sits in my cupboard, a relic of those evenings. The Buddha said, "Care for your body as you would cherish a temple, for it is where the soul resides." And I hear that echo in Ray's life. He didn't just work the earth, he honored it, and it held him up in return. For older adults like us in the US, where years can feel like a slow unraveling, bodies tiring, routines shrinking. That's a lifeline. We're not separate from the world. We're part of its heartbeat. This mug in my hand ties me to that pulse. The ginger I sliced came from a root somewhere, nurtured by soil and sweat. The coffee beans were roasted by hands I'll never know. Their labor a thread in this cup. I picture the monk, centuries back, sipping his brew and feeling the same. A connection not just to his breath, but to the farmers who tended the fields, the wind that carried the seeds. The Dharma teaches interdependence, that nothing stands alone. And for us, in America's sprawling towns or quiet corners, that's a balm. We've lost so much. Spouses, neighbors, the bustle of younger days, and loneliness can creep in like frost. But this ritual pulls me back, reminding me I'm woven into something vast, something alive. My small act of brewing isn't small at all. It's a nod to the earth, to others, to myself. That harmony hums deeper still. The Buddha's words about the body as a temple aren't just about health. They're about reverence. I've spent years judging this frame of mine, knees that creak, eyes that blur, seeing it as a shell wearing thin. But as the steam's warmth lingers on my skin, I wonder, what if it's more? What if these lines and aches are marks of a life lived, a temple not crumbling, but seasoned? For older adults across the states, that shift matters. We're told youth is the prize, that aging is a loss. But the Dharma disagrees. Every moment, every sip is sacred. Ray didn't mourn his bent back. He drank his coffee and watched the sunset. The monk didn't curse his years. He sipped and felt the ski. Can I do the same? I ask. As I stand here, mug cooling, world turning, this isn't about perfection. It's about presence. I recall a Buddhist circle I joined once in a church basement down the road, where gray-haired folks like me sat with tea and shared stories of letting go. One woman, her voice trembling, spoke of losing her son, how she'd brew chamomile each night to quiet the pain. It's not the tea, she said. It's what it holds. Me here, now. The Dharma shone in her words. Health isn't just the absence of illness, but a balance of body, mind, and the world around us. For us, facing the fears of fading, will my kids remember me? Will my days matter? This ritual is a teacher. It says, you're enough. The coffee I drank this morning, spiced with cloves, didn't just wake my senses. It woke my spirit, tethering me to the earth's rhythm, to Ray's fields, to that monk's timeless pause. The window frames a ski now blazing with dawn, and I step outside, the air cool against my face. The mug's empty, but I'm full, not of answers, but of awareness. Older adults like us know the tug of impermanence. Seasons change, loved ones leave, mirrors shift. But here's the Dharma's promise. Harmony holds us. This ritual, born from a monk's sip and carried to my counter, isn't just a drink. It's a bridge, linking me to nature, to others, to the temple I am. And as I breathe in the morning, feet steady on the ground, I feel it. This journey isn't about escaping age, but embracing it, cup by cup, in sacred living harmony. Part 5. The invitation of Earth's bounty. The morning air brushes my face as I linger outside, the empty mug still warm in my hand, its echo of spice and steam a quiet companion. The sky stretches wide now, a canvas of gold and blue. And I notice the garden patch by the porch, wild mint sprawling, a stubborn tomato vine clinging to its stake. It's modest, nothing grand, but it hums with life, a reminder of the earth that cradled the ginger and cloves I stirred into my brew. The monk's ritual, now rooted in my day, doesn't end with the last sip. It opens a door, one I feel creaking wide as I step back inside. The Dharma whispers through that threshold. Nature isn't just a backdrop, it's a teacher, a healer, a friend. For those of us in America's later seasons, where time can feel like a thief, this is a call to pause and gather what's offered. Not 5 gifts, as I first thought, but 7 and beyond, each a key to unlock a richer life. I think of my friend Clara, a wiry woman in her late 60s who'd tend her backyard herbs with a devotion I envied. She'd snip sprigs of basil or rosemary, her fingers stained green, and brew them into teas she swore kept her spry. "It's not magic," she'd say, her eyes crinkling. "It's what's here." Clara's gone now, her garden overgrown, but her voice lingers as I rinse my mug and reach for the jars on my shelf. The Buddha taught, "Let your food be your medicine, and your medicine your food." A truth Clara lived without knowing its name. For older adults like us, in the US, where aging can bring a parade of pills and doctor's visits, that's a quiet revolution. Health not in a bottle, but in the earth's embrace, waiting to be stirred into our cups. This journey began with the monk, his hands selecting from nature's bounty to elevate his tea. And it stretches to me now, a seeker standing at my counter. It hints at 7 ingredients, ginger, cinnamon, and more, each a spark of power, not just for the body, but for the soul. I imagine him, centuries ago, wandering a garden not unlike Clara's, plucking what spoke to him, maybe a root, a bark, a leaf, knowing each held a purpose. The Dharma shines here. Everything has its place, its moment. For us, scattered across America's suburbs or rural lanes, that's a comfort. We've seen purpose slip as careers end, as families drift. But this ritual says, look closer. The earth offers more than we've seen, and in its gifts, we find our own. I open a jar of turmeric, its golden dust catching the light, and feel a thrill, not of discovery, but of recognition. These aren't new to me. They've sat in my pantry, unremarkable until now. The monk didn't chase miracles. He met what was given, and the Dharma nudges me to do the same. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, a teacher once told me at a meditation group in town, her voice steady over the clink of teacups. For older adults, that beginner's mind can feel out of reach. Years pile up, habits harden. But this cup disagrees. 7 ingredients, 7 chances to start fresh, to see the familiar with new eyes. My hands, stiff as they are, tremble slightly as I measure. A pinch, a slice. Each move a prayer, a step toward something whole. This isn't about complexity. It's about trust. Clara didn't fuss over recipes. She picked to what grew, brewed what felt right. The monk didn't hoard. He chose with care, blending earth and intention. For us in the US, where life can feel like a race we've stopped running, retirement looming, energy fading, that simplicity is a balm. We fear we're too old to change, too tired to heal. But the Dharma says, you're not. These 7 gifts, fiery roots, fragrant bark, sacred leaves, aren't just additives. They are companions, each with a voice, ready to guide me deeper. My kitchen becomes a sangha, a circle of quiet allies, and I'm not alone in it. Clara's there, the monk's there, the earth's there, urging me on. The kettle hums again, and I stand ready, the jars lined up, like offerings. The sky outside blazes with promise, and I feel it mirrored within. A spark of curiosity, a pulse of hope. Older adults like us know the weight of years, bodies slowing, dreams shifting. But here's the Dharma's gift. The journey doesn't end. It widens. This ritual, born from a monk's care and carried to my hands, isn't a finish line. It's an invitation, a path paved with nature's bounty, leading me to health, to peace, to myself. And as I pour the water, steam rising once more, I know. These 7 keys are just the beginning, a door swinging open to a life I'm still writing. Sip by Sacred Sip. Part 6 is the Symphony of 7 Companions. The steam rises again, curling from the kettle like a soft hymn, and I stand at my counter, jars open, the air thick with possibility. The monk's ritual, now mine, has led me here, to a gathering of Earth's voices, 7 companions ready to sing through my cup. Not just 5 as I first imagined, but 7 and 4, each a note in a melody of health and peace. I'm no stranger to these, ginger from a stew, cinnamon on toast. But today, they're more than pantry staples. They're teachers, allies, gifts from a world that still holds me close. For older adults like us, in America's quiet corners, where days can feel heavy with ache or memory, this is the Dharma made manifest. Nature's bounty doesn't judge our years. It lifts us, sip by sip, into a life still blooming. Ginger, the flame of awakening. I start with ginger, slicing a knob from the root I bought last week, its sharp scent bursting free like a flare in the dim. I drop it into the water, and the steam carries a warmth that feels alive, a spark against the chill of morning, or maybe the chill of years. I think of my old friend Pete, a wiry vet who'd chew ginger candies after chemo, swearing they cut through the fog. Keeps me going, he'd grin. And I see it now, ginger's fire stirring my gut, sweeping away the bloat that lingers after restless nights. The Buddha said, "Let your food be your medicine." And here it is, easing stiffness in my hands, clearing a cough that's nagged me since fall. For us, facing the slow creep of age, joints that groan, energy that fades, this root is a guardian, waking us gently, whispering that vitality isn't lost, just waiting to be kindled. Cinnamon, the whisper of balance. Next comes cinnamon, a pinch of ground bark dusting the brew, its sweet aroma curling up like a memory of holiday pies. I recall my mom, her apron dusted with it, rolling dough in a kitchen that smelled of home. She'd steady herself with a cup of tea after long days, and now I know why. Cinnamon's quiet strength flows through me, leveling the spikes of a tired day. It's a shield, too, against the silent threats we older folks dread. Heart strained, sugars sway. Its warmth a soft hand on my breath, keeping it fresh. The Dharma teaches moderation, and cinnamon embodies it. Not loud, not brash, but steady. For us in the US, where life's rush once ruled us, this spice is a pause, a reminder that balance isn't gone. It's here in the cup, ready to hold us firm. A cardamom, the song of stillness. A few cardamom seeds tumble in, tiny and unassuming, their scent blooming soft as a sigh when I crush them. I think of a retreat I took years back, a wooded spot where a teacher passed around a bowl of spiced tea, her voice low. Simplicity is enough. Cardamom proves it, easing my stomach after a heavy meal, its quiet power guarding against deeper shadows we fear as we age. It's a melody of calm, dissolving the noise in my head, worries about tomorrow, echoes of yesterday. For older adults like us, who've carried burdens long and loud, this seed is a gift. Beauty in the small, peace in the plain, a stillness that says we don't need more, just this. Cloves, the strength of scent. Cloves follow, their rich, dark fragrance spilling out as I drop them in, pulling me back to winter nights by my grandma's stove, her mulled cider simmering. Their bite soothes an ache in my jaw, an old filling acting up, and clears the congestion that settles in with the cold. I feel their strength deeper too, a boost to my immunity, a balm for the mind when the days grow short. The Dharma speaks of resilience, and cloves carry it. Traveled far, grown tough. They stand with me now. For us in America, where winter can mirror the chill of isolation, this spice is a friend, warm, steadfast, reminding us we're stronger than we know. Turmeric, the glow of courage. Turmeric spills next, its golden stain painting the brew, a sunburst in the cup. I think of my cousin Lila who'd sprinkle it into soups, laughing that it kept her young, until arthritis slowed her, until shadows crept in. Now I stir it in, feeling its fight against inflammation, against the wear of time, cleansing me like a river after rain. The Buddha taught impermanence, and turmeric nods. Change isn't loss, it's power. For older adults, staring down age's threats, joint pain, memories haze. This gold is courage, a glow that says we're not dimming, we're transforming, radiant still. Holy basil, the breath of serenity, a sprig of holy basil, tulsi I've heard it called, joins the mix, its gentle scent rising like a prayer. I found it at a farmer's market, a woman in a shawl pressing it into my hands. For peace, she said. It delivers, easing the tightness in my chest, the buzz of a mind that won't quit. It's a shield too, quiet against the stress we carry, bills, solitude, the ache of what's gone. The Dharma promises serenity, and Tulsi brings it home. For us, in the U.S., where later years can feel like a storm, this herb is a harbor, a breath, a pause, a chance to find ourselves again. Coffee beans, the clarity of now. Finally, coffee beans, Arabica ground fine, blend in. Their roasted depth a bridge from tea to my American roots. I think of my husband, mornings with him, the pot hissing as we planned our days. He's gone, but the clarity stays, caffeine lifting me without jarring, sharpening my focus on this breath, this sip. The Dharma seeks awareness, and coffee delivers. Smooth, deliberate, a guide to the present. For older adults like us, where fog can cloud the mind, this bean is a lantern, lighting the moment, grounding us in what is, not what was. The brew swirls, a symphony of scents and strengths, and I lift it to my lips, each companion alive within. Older adults like us know the weight of time, bodies softening, spirits tested. But here's the Dharma's song. These 7 aren't just ingredients, they're partners on a path. From Pete's grit to Lila's glow, from the monk's hands to mine, they weave a story of health and harmony, stretching beyond this cup. And as I drink, the steam a halo around me, I feel it. This isn't the end. It's a beginning. A journey deepening with every note, calling me forward. Part 7. The stillness that sings. The brew rests in my hands, a warm weight against my palms, its swirl of scents. Ginger's bite, cinnamon's hum, turmeric's glow, rising like a chorus in the quiet. I step to the window, the mug steaming as dusk creeps in, painting the sky with streaks of amber and violet. The world slows. Leaves drift lazy from the oak out back. A dog barks faintly down the street. And I sip, the flavors dancing across my tongue, each one a thread in a tapestry I hadn't seen until now. This isn't just a drink. It's a ritual. A moment where life pulses through me, raw and real. For older adults like us, in America's twilight years, where time can feel like a thief or a burden, the Dharma offers this. A cup that holds more than liquid. It holds stillness, a symphony of mindfulness that tunes us to the now. I think of my old neighbor, Mrs. Ellis, a widow with a porch full of potted herbs, who'd sit there evenings with a chipped mug, watching the sun dip low. She'd nod at me over the fence, her voice soft. This is my church. I didn't get it then. Thought it was just tea. But now, cradling my own brew, I feel her wisdom. The Buddha taught, in the present moment, there is no suffering. And Mrs. Ellis lived it, her sip a prayer, her pause a sermon. For us, scattered across the states, the days can weigh heavy. Memories of what's lost, fears of what's next. But this ritual lifts the veil. The steam brushes my face, and I'm here, not yesterday, not tomorrow, just here, and it's enough. Each flavor carries a story, a gift from far-off fields to my kitchen. The ginger grew in damp soil, tended by hands I'll never shake. The coffee beans roasted under someone's careful eye, their labor a silent offering. I picture the monk, centuries back, feeling that same thread, earth to cup to soul. And I'm woven in too. The Dharma sings of gratitude, of seeing the web that holds us, and for older adults like us, that's a balm. We've known solitude, empty chairs at the table, phones that don't ring, and it's easy to feel cut loose. But this brew disagrees. It's a chorus of connection to the farmers, to the roots, to the hands that stirred it. My breath sinks with the steam's rise, and I'm not alone. I'm part of something vast, something alive. The stillness deepens as I sit, the mug's heat seeping into my fingers, grounding me. I recall a mindfulness circle I joined once, in a community center with creaky floors, where a teacher with gray braids passed around a pot of spiced tea. "Feel it," she'd say. "Don't just drink it." I do now, the clove's warmth in my throat, the holy basal's hushy in my chest. And it's more than taste, it's presence. The Buddha said, the root of suffering is attachment, and I see it clear. I've clung to youth, to plans, to people gone, and it's dragged me from this moment. For us, in the US, where aging can feel like a fading spotlight, bodies slowing, relevance slipping, this ritual is a spotlight of its own. It says, you're here, you're whole, right now. This isn't a one-time song. It's a habit, a rhythm I'm building. The ginger will warm me through rainy days. The cinnamon will steady me when life tilts. The coffee will sharpen my mornings when fog creeps in. I think of Mrs. Ellis again. Her porch a sanctuary, and I claim mine. The kitchen table, the window's view. This cup, for older adults like us, purpose can feel elusive. Retirement strips the clock. Loss steals the compass. But the Dharma hands it back. Every step is the path, a teacher told me once, her eyes kind over her own mug. And I feel it now. Each sip a step, each breath a note, a symphony I play daily. The world outside fades to dusk, but I'm awake, alive, tethered to the earth and myself. The mug empties, and I set it down. The sky now a deep indigo, stars pricking through. A lightness spreads, not an answer, but a knowing. Older adults like us know the pull of impermanence. Seasons shift, loved ones leave. But here's the Dharma's gift. This ritual isn't about holding on. It's about being. From the monk's sip to Mrs. Ellis's porch to my quiet kitchen, it's a song of mindfulness. A call to gratitude that quenches more than thirst. It kindles a fire within, and as I rise, the night settling soft around me, I carry it. A stillness that sings, a harmony that stays, a path I walk with every cup, every day, every breath. Part 8. The path that never ends. The night wraps around me, soft and deep, as I stand at the sink, rinsing the mug under a trickle of water. Its clay surface gleams faintly in the kitchen light. Emptied now, but heavy with the journey it's carried me through. Outside, the moon hangs low, a silver crescent spilling glow across the yard, tracing shadows that shift with the breeze. I dry my hands, the towel rough against my skin, and feel a quiet settle in. Not just in the house, but in me. This ritual, sparked by a monk's sip and woven through my days, isn't a fleeting pause. It's a path, a lifeline stretching forward, as endless as the sky of 12. For older adults like us, in America's vast, varied landscape, where years can feel like a countdown, the Dharma offers this final gift. The journey doesn't stop. It grows, cup by cup, into a life radiant with meaning. I think of my brother Tom, a gruff man with a heart too big for his chest, who'd sit with me on his deck years back, coffee in hand, watching the stars prick through the dark. He'd lost a leg to diabetes, his laugh dimmed by pain. But that mug, he'd clutch it like a lifeline, saying, "Keeps me here." Tom's gone now, his deck weathered and silent, but his words echo as I set the mug on the shelf. The Buddha taught, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. And I see it clear. Tom chose presence, even in struggle, and this ritual hands me the same choice. For us, scattered across the states, retirees, widows, souls counting wrinkles in the mirror, it's a torch against the dark. We're not winding down, we're lighting up. This path lives in the habits I've built, small acts that bloom large. The ginger will warm me when rain taps the roof, easing the ache in my bones. The turmeric will glow through my days, a shield against time's quiet threats. I picture Mrs. Ellis on her porch, Clara in her garden, Tom on his deck. Each sip they took a step, each breath a root sinking deep. The Dharma promises no miracles, just truth. Every moment is a new beginning, a teacher once murmured over her own steaming cup. And I feel it now. For older adults like us, where purpose can slip through aging hands, kids grown, careers faded. This ritual is a compass. It's not about grand plans or lost youth. It's about the kettle's hum, the spices dance, the breath I take right now. The moon climbs higher, its light pooling on the floor, and I step outside one last time. The air cool and crisp. The oak stands tall, its leaves rustling a soft farewell to the day, and I feel them all with me. The monk, Tom, the hands that grew the cloves. This brew, this practice, quenches more than thirst. It kindles a warmth I'd forgotten, a vitality that doesn't bow to age. The Buddha said, "Live with joy, as if this were your last day." And for us in the US, where later years can feel shadowed by loss, by frailty, by doubt, this is the spark. No lofty promises, no unreachable stars. Just a mug, a moment, a gratitude that turns water into life. Full and shining as the dawn I'll greet tomorrow. I close the door, the night sealed outside, and a lightness lingers, spreading through me like the steam that rose at dawn. Older adults like us know the dance of impermanence. Seasons turn, faces fade. But here's the Dharma's embrace. This ritual isn't an end. It's a beginning, reborn each day. From the monk's ancient sip to my kitchen's quiet, it's a path of serenity, of joy, of health that shades my steps ahead. The mug sits ready for morning, and I smile, a seeker still, a soul at peace. May your cup brim with this same stillness, your heart overflow with this same light, your days unfold with this same grace. And as the moon glows on, I rest, knowing nature's flavors, life's lessons guide me closer to myself, to the world, to the vast, endless now.